growing up in growing up in St. Louis, it seemed like every street corner would have a Christmas tree lot. I don't know if that was the case here in Tennessee, but they were everywhere. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, any kind of non-for-profit, and then families. And I noticed here in Knoxville, I've only seen one tree lot over on Kingston. Now just think of that concept, a Christmas tree. I remember in the late 1960s, right after Christmas, my dad purchased our first artificial Christmas tree. It wasn't silver, you know, those silver things, but it was ugly. Oh, it was ugly, and it took like 9 hours to put together. And then over time, more and more people probably use artificial Christmas trees. And then what do? We buy candles to make it smell like a Christmas tree. But actually, to me, it smells like bathroom sometimes, you know? We try to simulate something that's not real. Authenticity. Just think of all the things that you buy a car or you buy a couch, simulated leather, right? Or there's all these other examples of things that are supposed to look like something, but really isn't. And just like that Christmas tree, lighting those candles so it might look just like that or smell just like that. It seems so often as we get more and more modern, we kind of begin to walk away from things that are authentic. In the readings that we have this weekend, especially that gospel, I think John the Baptist is calling us to be authentic, to take the whole concept of what it means to be a follower of Jesus and to make it real into our lives. Not so much on the outside where we try to portray a certain characteristic, but also to allow it to be absorbed by our skin into who we really are. On Facebook, if you're on Facebook, I get these reels, like these different videos, and because I like animals, I get all these things that are, to me, kind of funny. And there's a cat, and there was a bird sitting on top of the cat's head. A real bird, not simulated. To me, that kind of gives an example of what the gospel is all about, that natural enemies seem to work together, to coexist, maybe to enjoy. Abraham Lincoln, one of my favorite presidents, and I like presidential history, he said, if you got an enemy, you know how you get rid of an enemy? You make that enemy your friend. And they're no longer an enemy. And how do you do that? You get to know the other person. Wouldn't that be great if the president of Russia and the president of Ukraine went out for a beer and just worked it out? I always think war should always be fought between the heads of countries who call people together to fight in their name, and usually it's the young who die. But authenticity. As we slowly move towards the celebration of the anniversary of the birth of Jesus, I think the readings day in and day out call us to be authentic in who we are. Not just to say who we are, not just to say what we believe in, but actually to authentically live that out daily in our lives. The whole season of Advent is a season of hope. Hope for the future. Hope for what tomorrow will bring. But if we don't bring something into that sense of hope, then tomorrow will become just another day, another tomorrow, and then day after day. But I think the invitation of Jesus is, and the readings of from John the Baptist and his speaking in the gospel that we have today is, if we allow ourselves to authentically be open into the very essence of who we are, to the workings of the Holy Spirit, to Jesus as he invites us to live lives of faithfulness, all things are possible. All things are possible. Even to the point of someday if you're a UT fan, you might actually like the South Carolina football team. Well, maybe not that, huh? So anyway, hope as you progress during your season of Advent, as we move closer and closer to the time in which we celebrate the birth of Jesus, we take a look in our lives to see how authentic we are, not so much only as a person, but how authentic we are as a Christian.